There are people in your life who are not friends. They are black holes. They don't just take your time, they take your light. You have a conversation with them and you walk away feeling empty, drained, like a ghost in your own life. You give them your energy, your support, your validation, and in return you get nothing, just a deeper sense of exhaustion, a quiet, creeping feeling that you are disappearing. Your rational mind makes excuses for them. They're going through a hard time. That's just how they are. Maybe I'm being too sensitive, but your soul knows the truth. You are being consumed. In the next few minutes, the brilliant psychologist Carl Jung will give you the permission you've been waiting for, the permission to save yourself. He will provide you with the psychological armor to not only identify these emotional vampires, but to understand the dark magic they use to keep you trapped. You will gain the power to see the invisible chains they've wrapped around you. And you'll soon know not just how to break those chains, but how to build a fortress around your soul so that no one can ever drain your light again. Part 1. The anatomy of a black hole. Let's call them what they are. Emotional vampires. It sounds dramatic, I know, but the term is terrifyingly accurate. These are not people who have a bad day and lean on you for support. These are people whose entire way of being is parasitic. They feed on the emotional energy of others because they are fundamentally empty inside. They are black holes in human form, and recognizing them is the first and most critical step to reclaiming your life. So, how do you spot one? The most obvious sign is the one I already mentioned, the drain. You feel it in your bones. After an interaction, you don't feel uplifted or even neutral. You feel depleted, like you've just run a marathon you didn't sign up for. This is not a metaphor. They have literally siphoned your vital energy, your joy, your optimism, your peace. It has become their fuel, and you are left running on empty. Another sign, the conversation is always, and I mean always, about them. They are the perpetual victim, the misunderstood hero, the star of their own never-ending drama. They will ask you how you are, but it's not a question. It's a pause, a breath they take before they dive back into their own monologue. You could tell them you've just won the lottery, or that your house has burned down, and they would somehow find a way to make it about them. Your life is just a backdrop for their story. You are not a person, you are a prop. And here is their most powerful weapon. They are masters of manipulation. They operate through guilt, through pity, through 1,000 subtle and not so subtle ways of making you feel responsible for their happiness. They will make you feel like you are the only one who understands them, that you are their savior, their rock. They will praise your kindness, your generosity, your loyalty. But this is not a compliment. It is a cage. They are reinforcing the very qualities that they intend to exploit. They are training you to be a better source of supply. And because you are a good person, you fall for it. You mistake their need for love. You mistake their dependence for intimacy. And you mistake their prison for a home. This is not a friendship. It is a hostage situation. And the longer you stay, the more of yourself you will lose. You will find yourself becoming more anxious, more irritable, more depressed. You will start to doubt your own perceptions. You will start to believe that you are the problem. This is their final and most devastating victory, when they have not only drained your energy, but they have also colonized your mind, when you have become your own jailer. Part 2. The Gilded Cage. So, if it's so bad, why do you stay? Why do you keep answering the phone? Why do you keep offering your light to a black hole? This is not a question of intelligence or strength. It is a question of psychology. Emotional vampires are masters of creating a gilded cage, a prison that is so beautifully decorated with the language of love and loyalty and obligation that you don't even realize you're trapped. Their first and most powerful tactic is love bombing. When they first meet you, they will shower you with affection, with admiration, with intense and overwhelming attention. They will make you feel like you are the most special, most interesting, most wonderful person in the world. It is intoxicating. It is addictive. But it is not real. It is a strategy. They are not seeing you. They are assessing you. They are figuring out your weaknesses, your insecurities, your deepest needs. And then they are mirroring those needs back to you. They are becoming the perfect person for you. This initial phase is designed to get you hooked, to create a powerful emotional bond that will be incredibly difficult to break later on. Once you are hooked, they will slowly and subtly begin to devalue you. The constant praise will be replaced with backhanded compliments. The admiration will be tinged with criticism. They will start to point out your flaws, your mistakes, your shortcomings, always, of course, for your own good. They will compare you to others. They will make you feel like you are not quite good enough, that you are lucky to have them. This is designed to erode your self-esteem, to make you feel dependent on their approval, to make you work harder and harder to get back to that initial, intoxicating phase of love bombing. But you never will, because that phase was never real. It was just the bait. And then comes the masterstroke, gaslighting. This is the psychological warfare that makes you question your own sanity. You will bring up something they said or did that hurt you, and they will deny it, flat out. I never said that. You're imagining things. You're being too sensitive. They will twist your words, change the subject, and somehow by the end of the conversation, you will be the one apologizing. They are masters of turning reality on its head. They will make you believe that you are the crazy one, that your feelings are not valid, that your memory is not reliable. This is the most dangerous tactic of all, because it severs your connection to your own intuition. It makes you stop trusting yourself. And when you stop trusting yourself, you have no choice but to trust them. You have become a prisoner in your own mind. This cycle of love bombing, devaluing, and gaslighting is the engine of the parasitic relationship. It is a deliberate and brutally effective strategy for breaking down your sense of self and making you a compliant source of emotional supply. It is not a dysfunctional relationship. It is a functional one. It is functioning perfectly for the vampire, and it is killing you, slowly, silently, from the inside out. Part 3. The Great Escape. Breaking free from an emotional vampire is not a single event. It is a process. It is a war of liberation, fought on the battlefield of your own psyche. And it will require a level of courage and self-love and brutal honesty that you may not even know you possess. But you do. It is there, waiting for you. And there are practical, concrete steps you can take to begin this great escape. The first step is emotional distancing. This is the internal shift that must happen before any external action can be taken. You must stop trying to make them understand. You must stop trying to fix them. You must stop hoping that they will change. They will not. Their entire survival depends on them not changing. You must accept the cold, hard, and liberating truth. This person is not your friend. They are your predator, and you are their prey. You must begin to see their compliments not as affection, but as manipulation. Their dramas not as cries for help, but as traps. Their apologies not as sincere, but as strategic. You must, in your own mind, downgrade their status from loved one to threat. This is not about hating them. It is about saving yourself. The second step is to build your fortress. This means setting boundaries, clear, firm, and non-negotiable boundaries. This might mean not answering their calls after a certain hour. It might mean limiting your time with them to short, public interactions. It might mean refusing to engage in certain topics of conversation, especially their endless dramas. When you set a boundary, they will test it. They will push against it. They will try to make you feel guilty or selfish or cruel. This is the critical moment. You must hold the line. You must not explain or justify or apologize for protecting your own well-being. A boundary is not a request. It is a declaration. It is a statement that says, my peace is more important than your drama. The third and most difficult step is to cut the cord. For some, this will mean going no contact, blocking their number, unfriending them on social media, and making a clean break. This is the most effective and often the only way to truly free yourself. For others, especially if the vampire is a family member or a co-worker, no contact may not be possible. In this case, you must practice what is known as grey rock. You become as boring and unresponsive and uninteresting as a grey rock. You give them nothing, no emotional reactions, no validation, no drama. You become a dead end for their parasitic needs. And eventually, like any parasite, they will detach and go in search of a more nourishing host. But be prepared. When you take these steps, they will not go quietly. They will escalate. They will create a crisis. They will smear your name to others. They will play the victim on a grand scale. They will do anything to pull you back into the drama, back into the cage. This is the final test. This is the moment where you must choose your freedom over your fear. You must walk through the fire of their manufactured chaos and not look back. Because on the other side of that fire is your life, your real life, waiting for you to claim it. Let's talk more about the grey rock method. It is an act of profound and radical non-engagement. When the vampire tries to provoke you, you do not react. When they tell you a dramatic story, you respond with, I see. When they ask for your advice, you say, I'm not sure. You give them nothing. No anger, no pity, no validation, no advice. Your responses are short, factual, and devoid of any emotional content. You become a boring, uninteresting, and deeply unsatisfying source of supply. It is the emotional equivalent of playing dead. And just as a predator will lose interest in prey that does not move, the vampire will eventually lose interest in a host that does not feed it. But what about the guilt? The overwhelming, soul-crushing guilt that you will feel when you start to pull away. This is the vampire's final and most powerful weapon. They have spent years or even decades conditioning you to believe that their happiness is your responsibility. And when you stop taking responsibility, you will feel like you are failing them, like you are a bad person. This is where you must become a warrior for your own soul. You must remind yourself, again and again, that you are not responsible for anyone else's happiness. You are not a rehabilitation center for broken people. You are not a sacrificial lamb to be offered up on the altar of someone else's dysfunction. Your only responsibility is to your own life, to your own well-being, to your own soul. And anyone who makes you feel guilty for honoring that responsibility is not your friend. They are your enemy. Part 4. Life after the vampire. When you finally break free, the first thing you will feel is not joy, but silence. A deafening and terrifying silence. The constant noise of their drama, the endless demands on your energy, the perpetual state of low-grade anxiety. It's all gone, and in its place, there is space. And this space can feel like loneliness. It can feel like emptiness. You have spent so long being defined by their needs, by their problems, by their world, that you may have forgotten who you are without them. This is the withdrawal, and it is the most dangerous part of the journey, because it is in this moment of loneliness that you will be most tempted to go back. But you must not. You must hold on. You must endure the silence, because that silence is not emptiness. It is potential. It is the fertile ground upon which you can begin to rebuild your own authentic life. It is the space where you can finally begin to hear the whisper of your own soul. What do you do with this space? You fill it with yourself. You start to do the things you stopped doing because you were too exhausted. You reconnect with the friends you neglected because the vampire demanded all of your time. You rediscover the hobbies, the passions, the dreams that you put on a shelf because they were not important to them. You start to date yourself. You take yourself on walks. You buy yourself flowers. You sit in silence and ask yourself for the first time in a long time, what do I want? What do I need? What makes me happy? This is the journey of coming home to yourself. It is the process that Jung called individuation, the process of becoming the whole and unique and powerful individual you were always meant to be. The vampire was not just a random misfortune. It was a catalyst. It was a brutal and necessary initiation. It was the fire that burned away everything that was not you. And now, from the ashes you get to rise, not as a victim, but as a survivor. Not as a ghost, but as a creator. Not as a prop in someone else's story, but as the hero of your own. And here is the beautiful and paradoxical truth. As you begin to heal, as you begin to fill your own life with your own light, you will become a beacon. You will start to attract people who are drawn not to your wounds, but to your strength. Not to your emptiness, but to your fullness. You will start to build relationships that are based not on need, but on mutual respect and admiration and joy. You will learn that true intimacy is not about saving someone. It is about standing next to someone in your own power and celebrating theirs. This is the gift that awaits you on the other side of the fire. A life that is not just survived, but that is truly and deeply and magnificently lived. A life that is your own. So, if you are in that cage right now, know this: you have the key. It is in your hand, and it is forged from a single and powerful and world-changing word. No. No, I will not be your supply. No, I will not carry your burdens. No, I will not set myself on fire to keep you warm. No, it is a complete sentence, and it is the beginning of your freedom. And what about the smear campaign? When the vampire realizes they have lost control over you, they will try to control how others see you. They will tell everyone that you are the crazy one, that you are the selfish one, that you are the abuser. They will twist your words, invent stories, and play the victim on a scale that will shock you. This is designed to isolate you, to make you feel like you have no one to turn to make you come crawling back to them, just to make it stop. You must not. You must let them talk. You must trust that the people who truly know you, who truly love you, will see through the lies. And the people who don't, they were never your people to begin with. Let them go. This is the fire that purifies your social circle, and on the other side of it, you will be surrounded only by those who are worthy of your light. Let's be clear. This isn't just about someone being needy or self-centered. That's just normal human imperfection. We're talking about a pervasive, pathological pattern of behavior. The emotional vampire doesn't just have a bad day, they have a bad life. And they are determined to make it your problem. Their emptiness is a bottomless pit, and you can pour your entire soul into it, and it will never be full. In fact, the more you give, the more they will demand. Your compassion is not a gift to them. It is a resource to be exploited. They see your empathy not as a virtue but as a vulnerability, and they will use it against you, again and again, without a flicker of remorse. Think about the subtle ways they maintain control. They have an uncanny ability to sense when you are pulling away. The moment you start to reclaim a little bit of your own life, they will manufacture a crisis, a sudden illness, a dramatic fight with another friend, a financial disaster, something that requires your immediate and undivided attention. And just like that, you are pulled back in. You put your own needs on the back burner once again to rush to their side. You tell yourself you are being a good friend, but you are not. You are being a good victim. You are rewarding their manipulative behavior. You are teaching them that the more they suffer, the more of you they get. This is the insidious genius of the emotional vampire. They have turned your own goodness into a weapon against you. They have hijacked your noblest qualities, your empathy, your loyalty, your desire to help, and turned them into the bars of your own cage. And they have done it so skillfully, so subtly, that you have been complicit in your own imprisonment. You have handed them the keys, and then wondered why you are not free.